Would you believe we have another American-British clash? And closest to us, the four top men from Cal Berkeley, USA. Multinational crew, we'll talk about them more as the race goes on. Cal Berkeley, of course, on the west coast of the States. And the camera now, the boom camera flying over to the very distinctive colours of Newcastle University. One of the most famed university rowing programs in the country, let alone the Northeast. And these four men have done a fantastic job to get thus far. So it's the semi-final of the Visitors Challenge Cup. That's one rung down below the international event, but all of these men have great pedigree, and it's going to be a really tough battle. See there the crowds. I mean, if you wander down to it's a great walk down to the start of Henley, isn't it? Particularly on Saturday, if you fight your way through the crowds, and you get to see a unique part, the start of an international regatta. And you can hear the umpire's voice, and you can hear the umpire's voice getting the crews ready, and we'll just let you listen.
Get ready, please.
Just soak up the tension as we wait for the start of this race.
Attention! Go!
And the crowd roar their appreciation. Cal Berkeley just moved slightly over towards the boys on their left-hand side. They're on the Buckinghamshire bank. They're on the right of your screen. Just adjust their steering. Now they've over-corrected. They come into the centre, and I think that's a handy lead that they will have over Newcastle. As the eye says, the umpire, I think that's Boris Rankov, warns a big yank on the rudder there, Camilla, as Cal lead, I think, the Newcastle crew on the left of your picture.
I think that might cost them a little bit as they come out of the end of the island, and hopefully we'll see that beautiful side-on shot so we can tell who's got the edge. And I think it is the Cal Berkeley crew that have got that slight lead over Newcastle.
So the umpire has stopped the race there, and it may be there's something ahead of them. It may be an obstruction on the course. I don't think there was any interference with the two crews, but the umpire has shown his red flag, Boris Rankov, I think that is, and we await to see what has happened in that race, unless he is going to disqualify one of the crews. There is Boris Rankov, holds the record for the most number of appearances in the boat. Yes, he's told the crews to go around and to head back to the side. So he has told them there will be no further roll call, so it'll be, are you ready, go, for the start of this race. And well, we've talked about him, Morgan Robert Helen, he's got his hand up. At home, I think Mike Tatey, who runs the Cal Berkeley program, the legendary American coach, took his country to Olympic gold medal in 2004 in the 8s. If you're watching, Mike, we wish you well, and we hope you're enjoying the transmission. A much straighter course from the Cal Berkeley crew.
So they had their practice, they had their run through, and we're back on the course again at this semi-final of the Visitors Challenge Cup. And Cal, again, just drifting towards the centre of the river again, but I think they've learned how to deal with that now.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this. I think Cal Berkeley had the fastest start, and when we get the side-on shot, we'll confirm that for you. Yes, the yellow boat of the Californian crew is leading the race just about half a length. I think they're edging out from Newcastle University every stroke. Such a powerful crew, Cal Berkeley, coached here by Scott Franston, who himself is an Olympian with Canada. Fantastic result in the pairs in Beijing, just finished out of the medals in the London Olympics. But Mike Tatey brought Scotty Franston into the Cal Berkeley program, and it's him who's come over here with this crew intent on taking the visitors. But Newcastle have stopped the rot, and they are just half a length behind. Newcastle in blue in the white boat, Cal Berkeley, the Americans, in the yellow closest to us.
And considering that all of these athletes here that you're looking at on the screen, they're all at university, they're all still students, which is fantastic to see in such a high-level event, as you say, one step down from those sort of elite events. And it's, you know, the Cal Berkeley program that looks to be kind of stretching out to about 3/4 of a length lead now. Newcastle, coached by the ever famous Angelo Savarino. He coached the under-23 eights last year with the men in that had Morgan Helen, who's the stroke of the Cal boat there. So very interesting to see Tom Ford, who sat at 3 in the Newcastle boat, was rowing alongside Morgan in that race there. So they've come head to head now, and I'm sure they'll be feeling it.
So you can see the packed banks down the course. What a fantastic shot of that beautiful hill behind the start there. And it's the crew on the left of your picture, Cal Berkeley, who lead Newcastle University, the Angelo Savarino coach crew. You've heard Camilla talk about a very aggressive program that Savarino runs, iconic program, so many fantastic rowers from the British squad. Ed Code, the Olympic champion from Athens, comes to mind, went through Newcastle University's program. And the umpire Boris Rankov has his flag out to warn Ollie Knight, the steersman of the Newcastle crew, to get back on course as we ride with the drone. So the semi-final of the visitors, Cal Berkeley from the United States of America lead by just over 1 length from the Newcastle University crew in the white boat. We're around about halfway down the course, and the drone is giving us an amazing shot just descending there. You can see the lead that Cal Berkeley have. And just as we get to the Newcastle University boat, the man on the right of that boat, James Rudkin, of course, his father, Andy Rudkin, a very famous sculler, and James has actually done crew at Tideway Scullers with my son, Frank Cross. So got a lot riding on that, and of course Frank will be watching this race, but it does seem that Cal Berkeley have made a decisive move there, Camilla.
Yeah, I think that they've broken that sort of elastic band that you can sometimes get if you've got overlap and you've got a bit of contact between the crews and you can sort of hear them and see them, then you can just about hang on in there. But the second they go out of earshot, the second they go out of the corner of your eye, it's almost, you know, given them the golden ticket to row away with this. But we'll see. You know, both crews steering quite well now, both looking very powerful, very tidy. But I think if you look at sort of the Cal crew, they've just got a little bit more power, a little bit more oomph. I don't know how more to describe it, really.
So Cal have almost a 2-length lead over the crew from the northeast, the men from Newcastle University, who have stepped up this year to the Visitors Challenge Cup. Umpire Boris Rankov, I think he's talking to the Cal crew, saying get back on your side of the course. A little bit of gamesmanship, maybe Morgan Helen, the stroke of the Cal Berkeley crew, is trying to send down some puddles to make the job of the Newcastle crew even more difficult. But of course, the Cal Berkeley crew, if you're thinking they're 4 Californians, you're not. The man furthest away from you is the only American in the boat from Phoenix, Arizona. The rest of them, well, it's a Dutchman, a Serbian and a Brit, and it's one of the hardest things for an American to actually get into an American college crew these days. Such is the strength of their scholarship program. And well, if Cal Berkeley do manage to win this race, they could go through to a match against their arch rivals, the Bears of Cal Berkeley, against the Huskies, University of Washington, who go in the second semi-final of the visitors. That's up shortly, and they will come up against the Sydney Rowing Club crew from Australia. That's yet to come, but at the moment we've got around about 500 metres to go in this race. Cal Berkeley from the USA continue to draw away from the men from Newcastle University.
They come past that fantastic panning camera there towards the enclosures. Look at that support on the bank. Saturday afternoon, tons and tons of people there cheering on these two crews. And as I've said, you know, we're looking at 2 exemplary university rowing programs from the UK, from the US, and it's kind of, you know, the best from both divisions. You know, Newcastle up there with the best in the UK, and Cal, you know, one of the best in America.
The thing is, you just can't, British universities can't compete because they won't pay 60 grand for an athlete, and the American universities are so well supported with their alumni programs that there's so much money in the top universities that they can afford to buy in the best rowers in the world. So we really are seeing a fantastic standard of rowing, and Newcastle University, on the right of your picture, the men in blue, That is a fantastic crew, and you can see James Rudkin had a look round. He wants to raise the sprint, and they are moving back, the British on the Cal crew, but I think they've left it a bit late.
I think they have. They've managed to sort of get their bow ball sort of a little bit closer towards the front end of Cal's boat, but look at those faces there from the men from Cal. They've really had to push hard to get that, you know, lead over Newcastle, who last year's winners in the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. So they are a fantastic crew in themselves. So, you know, you're looking at really two incredible boats there in that semi-final.
So it's Cal Berkeley who crossed the line. Newcastle University came back quite at the finish, and a breath of relief from Morgan Helen, the stroke man of the Cal crew.